Right, so it says I'm live. It says I've got so just need to check my sound. Which I can do.
Hello? Hello. No.
Right. Let's try that and see how it goes. Okay, so hello everybody. Welcome to the live build for the Airfix 124 scale Spitfire. This is the first live video build I've done, so you'll have to excuse any interruptions or anything like that. It is a sort of family house, so you know things are going to be going on in the background. So try and keep them to a minimum, but they will happen. So the first part of this video build actually was lost. We'll move down to the bench, and you can see that I began already. I put the two engine halves together and the little piece in there. I did film it. There's about 40 minutes of footage, but I got a blue screen error, and it all basically that portion got lost. So because of that, I decided to move on to the live YouTube format, where obviously it's going out live. Before it was live but recorded at the same time, so that I'd got a copy. But obviously I didn't do it live through YouTube before, so there's no copy for me to fall back on. So we'll carry on anyway. So this is going to be our first one. So I never really got too much done, just as I said, two halves assembled of the engine and the little pieces in here. So basically, as you're looking at that, I achieved step 1 and not quite step 2. I haven't quite got step 2 down yet. So that's where we're at, step 2. What is a good idea at the beginning of these is to just go through, if you're not sure on the paint colors or you need to convert them. I've gone ahead a little bit so that I don't have to keep stopping to do the conversions. For example, I know that this is a matte black, so I shall be using Vallejo's black. 53 is gunmetal. And number 11 is silver. And that will be enough to keep us going for this episode, I do believe. So I'll keep the instructions off to one side. Now then, we have got a bit of a seam line there. I'm just wondering how much we're going to see, though. I don't know whether we're going to see that much of it. It's going to be encased in both ends. And I don't know if something's going to go over the top there anyway. I'm going to leave, well, oh, what the hell, let's just, may as well do it properly. Just get a fairly intermediate, I guess, and we'll just move that up a bit. We've actually got a little nub there that's not been cleaned off properly. That's my fault. I'll apologise if you're using I can read the chat alongside on the YouTube things. I think that's Jan. I'm just going to call you Jan. I can never don't know how to pronounce that name. So yeah, it's good to see you about as well. He's just saying he's been busy on Wednesdays, so he hasn't been able to get in. So I'm just going round. I'm not too concerned about these seams at the top because I'm fairly certain you're not going to see them, but just to be thorough, I'm just going to go around and clean them up a bit. A lot of people don't like Airfix plastic, but I do. There goes a dog. Yeah, you've got to get used to that if you're going to watch these video builds, because you can't really control him. Not when people go past the window. He feels the need to be vocal. Well, sometimes I wish you'd defend it a little bit less. Right, there we go. So I've cleaned that up as to a state that I'm more or less happy with. Now I'm just going back to step one. The block, the square black block, just means do not cement. So we're just going to pop that in there. And that has to go. I'm just seeing. As I understand it, that goes on there like that. I'm just looking at the colours it needs to be. So it needs to be a separate colour from this. So what I think we'll do is this part here you're not going to see in here, apart from maybe the front, but once the propellers and everything are on, I don't think that's going to be a problem. Can you see it from above? Not really. Once it's glued in place. So we may not paint that one. We will, however, paint this. So let me get some. We will paint this in a black, and I think it's a matte black, so I'm going to use I think I've got Vallejo black primer, which, despite what everyone says, I like the Vallejo black. It gives a very nice finish. That's just an accent there. And then this one is going to be gunmetal. So we'll pop that on there. And I've got a tiny little bit of flash that I've left in there purposely so that I can put that clip on there. So there was a tiny little bit of flash. It was quite stubborn. It wasn't one that was just going to flake off. So I've left that in there purely so that I can get a good clearance on that. Good morning, Chris. Yanni's good enough. Well, if it's good enough for you, it's good enough for me. Right, so now the question is, do I paint these other ones at the same time? So we've got a pin that goes through there, but again, you're not going to see inside that engine. Right, but where did I put that? I think I've already cut the pin out there. I think that's it. No, maybe that's not the right one. There's a few parts on this kit that look very similar. And at first glance, if you just, I went through the sprue and just cut what I thought looked the right one. But on first glance, you sometimes need to go back and refer to this. So we're looking for 158, 45, 56, 156. I don't think we've got 158 on here. I think that's going to be on the next sprue. Which is down here. Sprue maps are so helpful when it comes to things like this, because of the way this Airfix kit was packed all in one bag, which is not very helpful. We've had lots of little bits come off. See, there's another one which I think might be 158. Yeah, there it is. So it wasn't that one. There is, the minute I looked at the drawing and compared it, I could see that it was different. But from a glance on a sprue, it looks the same. So let's just click 158 off. $158, and then there's a 157 as well. What are the chances of 157 being next to 158? We all know the answer to that. Definitely none. There's no slim in there. Right. I can see that it's not on that one. So I think this went up to 156. Not sure. It's a small piece. Come on. It's got cogs on it, and then I see 2 pieces there from the next step. So I am going to grab them while I can. Save me coming back. Um, 16 and 17. They're there as well. We'll grab them while we're at it.
Remember, if you take too many pieces off at once, you're going to end up losing some.
Yeah, no, these are all quite big pieces at the moment, and I'm thinking number 11. Yeah, that's got to come off as well.
You've lost big pieces and all.
Yeah, we got number 13 and 12. Yep, we're on a roll. Not a sausage one, but I know I have a poor cutting technique when it comes to removing kit sprue bits. But I don't claim to be 18, 19 and 20, and we're done on this. That's brilliant. It goes up to 15, 12, 13, 14, 15, 18, 19 and 48. It goes 18, 19, 48. Brilliant. Now then, I'm going to leave that middle connection there between 18 and 19 so that I've got something to put my crocodile clip on. I just need to see, what does 20 look like? 20 is like a little 23's over there. 22. There's 20. Next to number 6. Why wouldn't it be? Except they've labelled that wrong.
That was a nightmare. I was trying to count cross stitches, and as I'm going 1, 2, 3, you're shouting out 26. I'll have to recount that now.
Now that is saying that's number 9. It's not, it's number 6. They've pasted that wrong. Right. But still the elusive 157 is missing. 158, 157. But we have all them. So I need just check the sprues in the box. Just going to go over everything. There it is. I think that's it. Looks like it was right in front of me all the time. Now I've got toothache starting. Brilliant. Let's pop that on that. So we've got all our pieces ready for steps 2 and 3. Now then, I need to just go through because some of these are black and some are not. Now, the black pieces, for example, the engine's black, the top plate is black, this pit is black, that's black, and that is black. So my point being, then that's gunmetal, 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 with 2 silvers. So basically, these bits I could stick on. So let's just take that off for now. I can stick these pieces on because they're all going to be black, so there's no point whatsoever in me going through the trouble of separating them and gluing them to sticks or putting them on crocodile clips or whatever when they're going to be sprayed the same colour. It's much easier for me to connect them and spray it as one. Then you get a much nicer join. Right, not got a very good fit there, so is this our first problem? A very poor fit. So I'm going to try and show you what I mean. This piece comes on here like so. And we've got a very poor fit there. It's short. I've lined the 2 sides up. So let me line the 2 sides up properly. It's short that side. That side's not great either. Slightly over, if anything. So it's out of line a little bit, but that gap's a bit poor. So what to do? Let's clean it up first. Now I could fill it, but the engine's under a cowling, and even if I have the side cowling open, I don't think you're going to see that front section or the rear section, whichever it is. So let's just sand this back a bit, because I can see that it's gone a bit too far. There we go, clean that side up a little bit. Horrible surface where something's come along while it's been in the mould and pushed it out, and it's left an indentation in the side just here. And obviously when that's happened, it's been fairly hot, the plastic, I'm guessing, and as it's pushed in, it's also splurged out a bit, resulting in these horrible seam lines that there are. It's okay, it's nothing that can't be dealt with. Might need a thinner one to go in there. So fortunately Dave Price sent me these, and even they're going to be too thick, so it might be time to crack open the file, unless I can go in with a sharp blade. Where is it? And just very carefully, yeah, there we go. And we're just scraping the seam line off of these two pipes here. I don't know what they are exactly, but scrape them off of there. Now that's cleaned them up rather nicely. Then we've got a horrible bit along the top here where it's not flat. And that's not going to help, so just very lightly sand that edge. That's nice. And this one. Yeah, that's a good idea, Chris, to cut the sprue map out, pin it on your wall. You know, I can't remember. I didn't think there was one in this. I may be mistaken, though. Let me just look. No, it doesn't look like there is one. No sprue map on this, unfortunately. So, otherwise I probably would have done something like that. And I certainly will when it comes to painting if I don't use the one that's included. Right, so now let's have a look at the receiving end and see what's going on there. So we've got a bit of flash on there and there, and I can see the raised where it's dipped, and so I can see why it's not flush there. But I'm not sure whether it's meant to be sort of slightly bowed in the center or not. It's just as it stands, I'm still not willing to classify it as a shit kit as it were. I think it would have to get a lot worse because at the moment these are just basic modelling skills at the moment. There we go, that was it, wasn't it? We haven't done this end. So that's getting slightly better actually, just by cleaning that up. So I mean it does show you that cleaning up the kit can make the massive difference to how your parts fit. Oh, so I haven't cleaned up the other end, bear in mind, but if we position that roughly where it goes, and the gap is a lot better. It's still got that ledge there, but I'm really not sure whether that's meant to be like that. If I push it forward so that it lines up perfectly at the back, if I push it forward so it lines perfectly at the back, and I guess perfectly at the front, okay. Yeah, let's clean this back end up. We've got some Right, we're going to have to commit to some glue in a minute instead of keep fanning about with this like this. Yeah, it's just a poor fit. You certainly get away with it. It's not it's in the under the cowling, so just bring this over. Let's just try. Hold on a second. Let's. Right. Okay, I see what the problem is now. It just needs to. Yeah, so what I've done is I've just put a little bit of glue, a little bit of tape, and then that gives me some moving time, but it also helps it stick. And then now I can come in and flood the joins. I may well come along afterwards and just put some thicker cement in there. It just needs, there we go. As the plastic softens, it just gently pushes, you don't force it. As the plastic softens, it just gently drops into place where it needs to be. There we go. So that's good. Leave that to go off there. We've got a better fit there now. And once it's sanded, yeah, we've got a much better fit. No huge gaps. Needs a little bit of sanding on the top, on the two panels there especially, but it has gone in properly at that end, which was unsightly before. Come on. There we go. Right. Just have a quick look at the chat. Joanna says hiya. Says she's going to have to buy replacement tracks for the tanky. That's a shame. Glue got underneath and melted the detail on a lot of links. Dear, oh dear. Yeah, I can't comment. I've never used the metal ones. Yeah, I didn't know that either, Chris. I knew this one didn't have them, but there you go. We've all learned something new. Right, so the top bits, though, are going to be number 53, so they can't go on yet. And then we've got to put this bit on, but we can't because, now what was it, because of the colour? You're not going to see anything now, are you? They're both 33. Yeah.
You got that?
No.
Where's it gone?
No, probably out in the garden.
The door's shut. Oh, there you are. You stupid dog. What are you doing to me? Don't do that.
Just. No, I'm going to stick that on. I just don't see any reason for that. Right. We can paint all that from the front. Glue this on. not got a very flat surface there for this to go on. Right, we need something a bit. It's only taking one side more than the other. That's because the other side, there's a slight step between the two halves. So just sand that down until they're both flat, and we can see now that they're almost together flat. You can see from the marks left on the sanding. Come on. Does that help? The marks left on the sanding. We're almost there. At least good enough to, and that should, let's just pop that back in. Yeah, and that brings the rest of it in line. Spot on.
Yeah.
Let's just take that out there, take that little drop that in. There's still something pushing in the way. You know what? I think it may be this here as well. Might be something. It's perfect without that piece in there. So this piece is a little bit too long. So I'm going to just sand that back a little bit. I can see how if anybody building this kit, if anybody bought this kit as a first kit, I can see how they would run into problems with it. Or very early on, you need to. There we go. I think we can get away with that now. What have we got on the clock? How long's the stream been going? 45 minutes. So we've got 3 thumbs up, 8 viewers. Looking good.
don't think she can actually. She can actually eat them.
Not supposed to.
Grapes are not supposed to.
They've got seeds in the milk.
The grapes is not because of the seeds.
She's still not supposed to eat strawberries. I've looked at it.
Probably not supposed to eat apples, but she doesn't still.
We're probably going to need a clamp on this. It's been very awkward.
She likes strawberries.
The baby bit.
That's what I'm saying, she likes them.
She loves them as much as she loves grapes.
Mm.
What's that? What would you say my haircut is, isn't it? Well, and I can get that bothered.
Maybe brown. Brown with red stripes.
Like would you say it's like a mahogany red?
Yeah, but very subtle mahogany.
I'm going to put a clamp on this because it. I can see from the join it's trying to separate.
So I'm going to say it's brown with hints of red. She's asking what colour I want to go.
Shouldn't really need to clamp a piece like this.
Where's my flying rolls?
And then do I want to clamp at the top?
Oh, I forget she wasn't going to go.
I'm just going to send her the recipe.
And she needs to-
Well, next time is over because of blender. I'm not going to.
Well, now let's.
She's going to come and do my hair on Wednesday.
Yeah.
Father
Right, so I've clamped that now.
Mm.
And then we need number 9's going on, which is this little fellow here. But he's going to go on when that's dry. So let's just prepare him for his journey.
You have to go and check, wouldn't you?
So, how many of you in the chat would like this format of doing the video builds like this, particularly this Spitfire? Because in the past I've been told people are not interested in old kits being built. I won't say who told me that, but I've been told in the past that yeah, I'm wasting my time. I don't think I am, but what are the views out there in YouTube land? Come along and
Should I show you what I'm just on this one do?
clip under there. There we go. And into there.
I did concentrate having it touch
Right.
that colour.
Let's take off the.
The red. Just to make it a little bit brighter, change lines.
Leave that bit on there. And we just
Not that one.
gently go around and remove this mold line that
I didn't know whether to do
is on
radical
there.
transformation and get my hair like brown.
So
And then the
Oh, there we go again.
Eventually I want to go to sleep like that. And they've got the silver and finish tape. Can't like one. I don't know where the bed is, and I'm just going to bring it away for holiday.
There we go, that's ready. So we're approaching.
I tried to do this first this morning. Disaster. I could have had that much colour. And he started running his face around the couch and protest.
Just quickly reading the chat.
You bugger.
What piece was there? So 33. And then we need this piece on here with this piece here. Now that apparently goes in there, and that glues in there. So that's 33 as well. So let's pop those pieces to one side there. They're all to go on that engine, and then that engine can be sprayed black. Now then, what I should have left are all pieces that have got to be sprayed gunmetal. So let's just check what we've got. Some nasty flash there. Come on. See it better from the back. All that there. Modern technology. You think they could make a bloody web camera that was half decent? They've got They've got cameras that can see into the darkest reaches of outer space. Microscopes that can see stuff on a cellular level. But they can't make a web camera that will focus in on something just in front of it.
If I put my hair colour brown and it's got a red tinge to it from the last time I done my hair.
Sorry, I was just taking out a shot there because I've got to try and just very gently.
You cannot turn down so it's
Go around each of these. I think this is called the ignition coil. I'm not certain.
all you need to be able to go upstairs to do it.
Where's the things?
Anything? Sure, no, you don't.
Where?
It's going to take considerable cleaning this up this part because there's. There we go. Let's try and just get in between each.
You might not need the other one. on a pig. Stop licking your bowl.
Good girl. Good girl. Good girl. Good girl. Good girl. Good girl. Well done, Rose. Good girl. Yes. One paw done. Move this side.
Move swap the other end of the cow.
Right, so that's a bit better.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I think we're approaching the hour point now, and we might leave part one there. Apologise, I'm not the fastest of builders. I just go slow and steady, and then when we pick it up, maybe, I don't know whether I'll spray these off of the camera. I don't know whether to spray these off camera or let everyone watch the spraying. I don't know. Any thoughts on that?
Why have you sat like this? I've got him pinned in the middle of the cushion.
Or not?
Problems with you. You've got too much hair.
Okay.
Behind you, literally.
So there's one for spraying.
Too much.
Oh, I'm not that good, Joanne. Good demo spray techniques. I just spray it. There is no. So everyone's in favour of seeing the spraying. Okay, that's good. That's no problem. I've got another camera. I did have it set up, but obviously we'll leave part one there because I'm aware that these things can drag on a bit and they lose interest in and they don't want to watch any other parts then. So I'm going to leave part one there. I'm not sure when I'll do part two. It will be as and when, but obviously you will get a notification and it will go up on the channel, on the YouTube channel after it's been done anyway. So thank you very much for watching. I really wasn't expecting to get as many people turn out as I have done, and you have my immense gratitude. Thanks very much, and I'll see you next time. Bye for now.
You're a good girl. Good girl. Ready? Ready?